Hi, Julie Jones from SSB Performance, Smarter, Stronger, Better Mindset Training, here with this week's Mindset Made Simple Tip of the Week, brought to you by Game Day Sportswear. A little different format today, coming to you just in a listening mode. But this week we're talking about a real-life battle to get better. 3 ways to keep fighting. And last week I came to you from the Cleveland Clinic as my dad was having his knee replaced, and surgery was a success. As soon as he was awake, he walked and he went home that day. All good stuff. But what a difference a week makes. This week we are at a different Cleveland Clinic facility and dealing with a whole different host of issues. Major surgery is hard on octogenarians and those who care for them. And after 30 hours in the ED, as they call it, as I learned, and various consults to figure out why he's struggling, he's finally found a more stable accommodation in a room in the hospital where he'll be for at least the next few days. And what does this story have to do with mental performance? This is all about mental performance. This is a test of mental performance. And as we've navigated through this process, it has been a test of all that I talk about every single week: presence, positivity, posture, and process. And admittedly, all 4 of the P's of peak performance have been a challenge. It's a mental battle. It's the same battle we face when we go there, wherever there is, when we need to be focused, ready, performing. And there, for me, over the past few days, has been frustration, anger, fear, impatience, focusing on uncontrollables, and a whole lot more. You've been there. This battle has thrust me into thinking about what is purely practical and what is critically important as we work to help those around us perform at their best. Some of the things our Get Dad Better team has been facing have been pretty daunting, like stopping the nurse before she gave meds that were already taken for the day and asking how much fluid his low-functioning heart can handle. But most of the threats have been self-imposed, like between our ears. And although the things we face on the field or in the boardroom may not be as life-threatening as worrying about medications, our brain and our body don't care. They act the same way. We fall into the same mental reactions because, as Bill Shankly, the former European soccer player and the manager of Liverpool, said, some people think football is a matter of life and death. I assure you, it's much more serious than that. We care. We want to win. We want to perform at our best. And that alone takes us there, wherever there is. Physiologically, we're wired to survive. We respond to threats, and threats are all around. Be it standing at the foul line in the last moments of the lead 8, or a true threat to our safety. Our body acts and our brain acts so similarly. Anything that threatens our jobs, our performance, our reputations, those we love, throws us into a flurry of thoughts and emotion that are often not conducive to us being our best. And apparently, right now, I'm threatened. And on cue, let the time traveling, the second guessing, and the negativity bias take hold. Why didn't you ask this? What happens if that? What if? Why that? This is BS. This doesn't improve anything. If this doesn't change, our lives just change forever, and more and more and more. You know, you've been there before. I've been everywhere. And here's the frustrating part. I know how to manage it. But being mindful and being mentally tough is a practice. It's not a place. It's a skill. It's not an innate feature. It's like fitness. When you train, you're fit. When you stop training, you're not. And in response to questioning my mindset, there have been practical tips that I've been thinking of and critical success factors that I think can help you and can help me. And if you go to my website, you'll see a little infographic that says, where is your head? You can download it to think about where is your head and where does your head need to be with your body. So here are my 3 tips for the week. Number 1, it's time to observe. You can't read the label on the jar if you're inside the jar. And the label has information on it that we need to know. We need to know what to do with the contents. It's time to watch what's going on in our mind and in our body from outside, like taking that 30,000-foot view. I heard Jocko Wilkins, he's a Navy SEAL guy, talk about being in a battle and him standing back and taking a different perspective than the sniper and what he could see compared to what the sniper saw. It's a different perspective. Instead of being controlled by it, we have to realize that our feelings aren't facts. Facts are facts, and we can deal with facts, no matter what they are, much more effectively if we can observe the thoughts and emotions that take our focus away from being able to gather and process information effectively. So observe. Take a step back. Observe the landscape. Take in what you need to take in and look for facts. Feelings are not facts. Number 2, it's time to shift. If this week has taught me one thing, it's that the point that I hammer home about our power coming from our ability to choose one thought over another is true. At any time, we can choose what thought takes that precious spot in our head, that one space, that one thought. This has been a lifesaver for me. It's something we can all practice. It starts with our observation, being aware of where we are, and leads us to change our state, even if it's just for the moment. And then we do it again and again. We choose one thought over another, a thought that's helping us over a thought that's not. That is power. And number 3, it's time to implement a system. This was born of the first 2 tips. As I observed that I needed to shift, I then realized that a system to help me evaluate the moment and keep the information I needed straight may also help me think more productively and keep a more positive mindset. We all know that pressure makes us press. And when we press, our heart rate increases, our breathing shallows, our brain waves increase, and the game speeds up. Systems help us regulate. Just like that little light that flashes in your side view mirror when there's someone in your blind spot. Our cars have systems like that built in. We don't. Well, we do. We have emotions that we need to observe and tell us, hey, beep, 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 something's going wrong. So my first system, have a go-to question. Questions shifted from problems to searching for solutions. I've been winning, W-I-N, what's important now, ing, and using Jason Selk, the author of Relentless Solutions Focus. I've been using this question, what is one thing I can do right now to make this situation better, or something similar for a long time? And man, have I used both of those this week, if ever. What can I do right now that will make this situation better? Both of these I use each time the alerts in my mental or physical dashboard flash. The answer may be something as simple as, hey, ask a question, or take a deep breath. The answer to the question may not be the end-all be-all solution, but allows us to move to the next moment intentionally. And momentum is built moment by moment. The second system, get a notebook. Keep the first things first. That's what we need to be doing. And trying to remember what we need to do to make a difference when we're facing pressure is like trying to hold water in a bucket full of holes. I've got all these things I need to ask the doctor. I've got all these things I need to tell my sister. I need whatever. Our mind is racing to keep up with it all. And all the while, we're finding more things to worry about. So the bucket is full of holes. We've got to fill those up with systems. Something as simple as writing things down, our ideas, our questions, the information we've gathered, the information we need to perform, can help us move from our rushing emotional brain to a more rational thinking brain when we start to get squeezed. And keeping notes gives us confidence. How, you ask? Since it's impossible to evaluate our thoughts while they're in our head, it allows us to inspect our thoughts, our impressions, and the information for importance and prioritization. I have some of the athletes I train use this system. Like, what do you need to do? What information do you need to act on? What are your if-thens or when-thens? I realize it's not always possible to stop in the middle of the game and take notes or update your plan or read your plan, but we have more opportunities than we think to do this. And even just knowing that we have things in place allows us to move forward with facts. Facts matter. They help us decide what deserves our focus, to make adjustments, and to keep rolling. Stacking up positive facts boosts our confidence. So, in the midst of all this, everything is an experiment, a training of our mental tools. It's not a skill. It's not a talent. It's not innate. It is a skill. And if we can use these 3 systems to observe, to shift, and to put in a system to help us manage our mindset, we are going to be able to help our performance. We are going to be able to help ourselves, our teams, and those we love at a higher and more efficient rate because we are managing our mindset. using the power that we are gifted with, that we have to train on a minute-by-minute basis to keep us moving forward. So, until next week, think about your mindset. Think about the things that you need to implement to stay on track. And in the meantime, manage the moments, manage your mindset, and make your performance better. Have a great week.